Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we're going to be doing the weekly read for the sign of Libra. This is going to be for June 24th to July 1st. And we're going to get right into it, Libra, and get out your 2 angel oracle cards for this reading. And see what's going on with you this week. Show me. We're going to be focusing in on whichever relationship or dynamic you're having with someone else this week that's going to be taking center stage. It could be a love relationship or a family relationship. It could be a dynamic with friends or colleagues. But whatever the main stage event is going to be, we're going to try to hone in on that and see what's going on. Show me what's going on with our lovely Libras for June 24th to July 1st. Alright, Libra. Your first card is This Could Be the One. And Separation. Interesting. Separation came up earlier as well. So yeah, this could be the one, right, for a romantic liaison or partnership. And also there's some time apart right now from your partner as well. Let's see what this is all about. We usually don't figure out what these cards really mean until we get into the reading. So show me a clear message for our lovely Libras this week, June 24th to July 1st. We want to see affirmations, reaffirmations, warning signs, energies they need to worry about or look out for, energies they want to walk toward. Let's see what's going on. Show me a clear picture for our Libras. Show me. All right. Sorry about that background noise. Living in the city and it's hot. So center card is Queen of Pentacles. One of my favorite queens in the deck. I love the Queen of Pentacles. We have the Fool, right? So there you are showing up on your own life's journey. 2 of Pentacles. And the Devil. Wow. Interesting. Your person has 6 of Wands. Knight of Swords. And 10 of Wands. Wow. All right, at the bottom of the deck, we've got Knight of Wands. So coming in fast with inspiration and ideas, right? A lot of movement and activity. I believe that might be your person coming back to you. Maybe that you're separated. We'll see. We'll get into it right now. Let's start right off with the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles talks about blood, sweat, and tears, having worked for the garden, having worked for the abundance that's around you, right? She came from nothing and built up everything that she's had. She's really nurtured her, her existence in a way, even though this is a Pentacles, a lot of people kind of just simplify this as, the material, right? The material is one of the planes. It's one of the planes we live in, and it's the plane of the 5 senses. So, when you nurture something on the physical plane and you nurture it with an integrity and with a purity of heart, something really beautiful grows, simply just the way a garden grows, right? The Queen of Pentacles also understands the need to take care of her body, her physical care, her cosmetic care, her nourishment, right? She knows how to look and look after her well-being, right? And she doesn't really compromise that, right? She's the one who makes sure that she nurtures herself first, right? And her environment. So it's a really beautiful kind of energy to have. Certainly a very proud, you're very proud of everything that you've worked for, Libra. So here you are showing up as the Fool. And the Fool does talk about new beginnings and a leap of faith. But more importantly, the Fool, when the Fool shows up, it means that we are right there at a very kind of conscious part in our journey, right? We're conscious of our travel. We're conscious of how far we've come. You know, we understand that as the fool descends and ascends along the tree of life, he constantly has various experiences that he learns from. He burns off karma, then he gains more karma. You know, that's the life, right? So the fool showing up a lot of times can be an indication that you are right where you need to be on your path, that you're quite conscious of your path, and also that you're about to start a new segment on that path, certainly, right? Your new segment on your life path, right? Or your karmic path many times as well, which go hand in hand. So right now with your partner, though, you are feeling like you're having to balance. You know, it almost seems as though they're not really quite part of your life just yet. And so the part of your life that contains them, almost you have to balance that with your other life, which is your regular everyday life. That could also be because of the separation. It could be that with all of this Knight of Wands movement, you may be having to go back and forth. You may be living in different cities or states and constantly trying to juggle this life, right? It certainly, Two of Pentacles talks about juggling two physical locations or two physical, like, parts to your life, right? Sometimes this can be, you know, your business and your personal life. Sorry about that. Your business or your personal life, right? Or like I said, it can be juggling two locations, going back and forth between locations, certainly if you don't live together. And I think it's really wearing on you to a certain degree. But it's really, it's forefront in your mind this week, right? You see the relationship itself, though, very much like very creative. You know, there is a bit of a power struggle, though, there, right? I mean, with the devil showing up, the devil can indicate, you know, having a lot of temptations, being too tied to the physical, the carnal, the lusty, not elevating those carnal energies, right? The sexual energies, not elevating that through the mind and spirit into a focused venture, right? Into something that is creative, right? So sometimes that energy can dissipate just in being lustful, you know, being addictive. This can be the card of addictions, you know, just losing yourself in kind of pleasures of the flesh and of the five senses, right? And so you can, you know, it could seem very much like that with this individual. You know, that could also be kind of the juggling that you're having to have, right? That you see kind of your person as, right? Because the relationship, this is the card for your relationship, this is the card for your other person. You know, you associate that person with a part of your life that you don't want to let go. But the relationship is inherent with a lot of kind of like addiction. There could be codependency here, right? You know, and that could be why you're still juggling, kind of, you know, really not finding any balance, right? You're trying to find balance, but it's quite difficult because there could be a sense of codependency in this relationship. Your person feels very much like a victory is happening for them. Something's going on with them in their life that right now they feel like they're getting their kind of like their victory lap. They're getting some accolades. People are paying attention to them, right? There's a little bit of notoriety that's coming with something that they've accomplished, right? And it could be that this is the reason why they're separated from you, because they're really working very much on their career and they're starting to get some rewards coming in. However, they do see themselves as being your knight in shining armor, right? And they see that, you know, I believe they do see you as the Queen of Pentacles, and they certainly see that they have to make more forward, you know, that they're required to behave a certain way with you, right? They feel like they definitely have to keep up with you sometimes, you know. They could very much look up to you, and, you know, even though that they're getting on with their lives and they're having their own, like, successes, as far as they're concerned with you, they feel very much like, you know, like you're the queen and they're your knight, kind of, you know. They're there to support you. They want to support you, right? They want to be able to have their kind of like life and support you at the same time, you know. And that could also be another reason why you're seeing them as something that you kind of have to juggle. It can get quite emotional. It could also be a lot of back and forth, like I said, certainly with traveling back and forth, right? constantly having to talk like over the phone or having to Skype and do that kind of interaction, that kind of communication, because of there might be that physical separation. But they do feel kind of like the relationship is a bit of a burden. You know, I feel like it could be that they're very much feeling like they're being pulled in two different directions. And I think that, you know, there isn't any cups here, right? So there isn't a whole lot of affection. This could be a relationship that has come out of a sense of responsibility. It could be that you guys, like I said, you know, you guys may have a codependency with each other where it's not really so much about a romantic love relationship, but you're so used to being each other, you're so codependent with each other, that you're still kind of entwined with each other. But your partner certainly feels like this is a bit of a burden. It's interesting where you feel like the relationship is like a bit of a, you know, can be, can lead to negative, like, behavior patterns. You see the relationship as being codependent. You see that there's addiction involved. It could be just addiction to, you know, arguing and being at odds. You know, there could be other addictions that you two share, that you have a codependency with, right? So you're seeing that, and they also are seeing like a burden. They feel like the relationship is a burden, you know, trying, you know, and it now, it could be that you two aren't necessarily separated, but that you need to separate because of the way you both feel about the relationship. It's really not a freeing feeling anymore. You guys feel all right in your own right, right? You know, on your own, you feel great. You're the Queen of Pentacles, and your person is feeling as having a victory in their own right. But with each other, when you're with each other, it feels very, very oppressive. They really want to lay this down. It feels like it's been like a long kind of like unhappy battle, really, a long unhappy relationship, and your person just very much wants to close this stage. It could be that, you know, your person may be the one to talk about separating before you do. Okay, it could be very well be that they've kind of had enough. They want to move on, you know. And this as well could be where the Nine of Wands is coming from. There's certainly a desire to move on from this point. It could be from them and for you. It could be a mutual desire. There you go. There's the Tower underneath. So it's a mutual desire. I think separation is certainly something that is in order for you. It's been absolutely exhausting having to juggle the two lives. It's been absolutely, you know, a constant like battle to try to get out of these negative behavior and codependent behavior patterns. For them, it's also been extremely oppressive. They felt a lot of guilt. They've just wanted to lay it down, you know. And like I said, I think they may be the one to broach the subject of going into a separation or cutting this relationship down. I know the other card says this could be the one, but it could be that that's what's been holding you guys together, this kind of long relationship, right? This kind of like, well, we've known each other for so long that we can't leave each other. And that's kind of like a delusion, you know. Sometimes you hold on to a relationship just simply because you've held on to the relationship, right? And so you're unwilling to let it go. You know, it could be that because you guys have been together for so long, and there were, you know, times in the past where you seemed to be very much each other's savior. And there was a time in the past where you probably did agree that you guys were each other's one or soulmate, right? Or lifelong partner. But that time has passed. That time is no longer here. And you've certainly grown apart in any case, right? You're totally at two different ends of where you want to be. You and your person are, for want of a better word, living really want of a better description, really living two separate lives. Your lives aren't intertwined with each other in any other way except for in this very destructive, codependent way. And it just needs to end. Show me some deeper insight on this, please. Show me. I think the conversations are going to be had this week where you're going to really talk about where, you know, finally, like, talk about the possibility of not being together again. or staying together. The Sun comes out. The Empress is there. 9 of Cups. 10 of Cups. King of Wands. Queen of Pentacles. High Priestess. So there's intuition there, right? There's a gut feeling that things haven't been right for quite some time, right? Again, like I said, you feel very, it's quite interesting because you feel very good right now. You feel like you're at the beginning of a whole new world. You're about to start a whole new segment in your life. And you feel really good, Libra, right? You feel like you're finally in the sun. It could be that, like, as I say, you guys have kind of drifted apart in a lot of ways. It could be that you've met somebody else, right? It could be that you've met somebody else and it's only just the very, very, very beginnings, but you're starting to see a possibility of a life with somebody else besides this person. Empresses come in to yeah, so this is it. This kind of constant juggling. You're not for it anymore. It's too much. It's been very emotional, right? And you just don't, you're now in your Empress where you're just not willing to do it anymore. The Empress is not at anyone's beck and call. She doesn't really like, she doesn't juggle. You know what I mean? She doesn't juggle or balance. She takes what she wants when she wants. The only person she answers to is the Emperor. She's only beholden to herself and nurturing herself and ensuring that she's in the best place that she can be. And so you're almost like at a point now where you just don't even want to juggle or try to balance these two parts of your life anymore. It's almost as if you want to just drop the whole thing and simply move forward with your plans, right? Coming over the Devil, yeah, the 9 of Cups is there, and that's the constant like reminder that it's never quite evolved to 10 of Cups. There's always been a little bit of separation here. There's always been something kind of that's stopped the relationship from actually progressing to that 10 of Cups that you want to progress to. There's always been this kind of blockage. And I feel like a lot of it is the codependency or whatever the destructive behavior patterns that you guys have gotten yourselves into, which constantly leads to this kind of like loving and then separated and hating and loving and separated and never quite fulfilling the relationship up to the 10 of Cups. Never quite getting to that completion, and it's just like, even though a lot of times it has felt good, there has been a lot of overflowing love between the two of you. It's still, it still talks about kind of like, she's still sitting alone, you know what I mean? And she's still kind of looking at the Cups, but it seems like there's a separation, right, from her and her dreams, right? It's just quite not melding the way it should, despite on the surface, the appearance of being very, very happy, right? On the surface, there's this blissful feeling, and this, it could to the outside world look like it's a very happy relationship, but really it isn't, right? It really isn't quite where it should be, right? And there's still a feeling of loneliness. You still kind of feel lonely with this person. You never really feel quite totally together, and here they have 10 of Cups down here, so they feel it could be very much so that they see a happy ending here. They may not be willing to let go. They may still be continuing to, it could be that they continue to, to kind of like always like convince you that things will work out. This could be like one of those type of relationships that no matter, it keeps breaking down, and then they kind of build it back up, and they, your person starts with all the promises and the love and all of that again. Or, it could be like one of these really difficult cycles of like, being terribly destructive, and then when you've almost completely destroyed each other, needing each other to build each other back up, and then you're back to being in love because of course you only have each other and you don't have anybody else, because that's how it, you've orchestrated it, and then again back into that same rhythm of being codependent, and then working towards destroying each other again. Do you know what I mean? And so, this person may be very, because 10 of Cups, they feel like they have everything with you, but there's a discord here. You know, there's just a discord, you know. You don't, you know what I mean? Like this is what they think they're feeling, right? But then when we get to the relation, sorry about that little cut. My camera shut off for a second. Yeah, they're, you know, as much as they on the surface they, you know, they keep acting and feeling like this is the one for them. They may very much feel like you are the one for them. You know, they may be very happy like remaining in this codependent relationship, even though it makes them feel burdened, and even though, you know, they probably, you know, they may be the type that, you know, that leaves and then comes back and then leaves and comes back and leaves. And when they come back, they always tell you the same thing. You're the one for me. I can't leave. You know what I mean? That kind of like constant back and forth, you know. But you're very much wanting to move on, you know. And I feel like the energy for you is you're starting to realize, especially with High Priestess, that this is never going to get to where you want it to be. King of Wands, yeah. So they have King of Wands over the Knight of Swords. So I think, again, they see, it could be, they see, like I said, you may have met somebody, right? And they may have noticed that as well, because this King of Wands is quite interesting. I don't think this person is you or your energy at all. And I don't think it's your person. I think your person is very much the Knight of Swords here, right? So this King of Wands, it could be that somebody is there. They see, they may be coming in hard for you now, wanting to have this conversation with you. And it could be not so much, like I said, that they want to have the conversation about breaking up or separating, but they may see that there's a King of Wands in your face or around you or trying to make a play for you, this kind of energy, right? Someone who is stable, someone who could very much pose a threat to them, and they're feeling like they really need to come in. They may have a panicky kind of feeling, like, oh shit, you know, I'm going to lose this relationship with you. But it's such a messed up relationship anyway. It's such a kind of like I say, a codependent relationship anyway, that it's not like, you know, it's not like you're saving something that's really positive. But of course, if you have somebody coming into your life, or especially if you've just met someone, they're going to feel threatened. And whether or not you guys could have talked about splitting up the night before, or for the last 3 months, you guys could be arguing and fighting and talking about splitting up. But as soon as your person sees that you have somebody else, or the possibility of somebody else, now all of a sudden they're desperate to keep you. Now all of a sudden they're desperate to come in and have that conversation, despite the fact that up until now you guys have both been quite miserable. And it could also be that your person has been very miserable up until now, right? But now, again, all of a sudden their jealousies come up, and they now all of a sudden see you as like, well, hang on a second, if I can't have you, I don't want anybody else to have you, right? Or how can you, you know, if you can be happy with that person, then maybe you can be happy with me. And then here we go back to that bullshit cycle of pretending like things can be fixed. This Ten of Wands, which is really like a desire to lay down these burdens from this long road, this long troublesome road, right, is covered with the Queen of Pentacles. You've come out again twice, right? And here you are. And I think that a lot of, and that's coming out to kind of clarify, I think that they see you moving on. They see you doing well for yourself. They see you starting to treat yourself better, pulling away from trying. I think they see you trying to pull away and separate from them more and follow your own path. Get into your Queen of Pentacles, who is a survivor, by the way, right? And they see that, right? And I think that it's making them worried. You know, it's like where they before maybe thought that they would be fine with you guys breaking up, it's like they may be having second thoughts. They may be not unwilling to lay down this baggage now or to end this, right? You know, you wonder sometimes why people remain in kind of troublesome relationships or in, you know, negative cycles. But sometimes it's the panic of seeing you move on with your life that can cause them to stay. So yeah, this is your reading, Libra. I think you're just dealing with a lot of unentwining. It could be very good for you to get some separation. Certainly if somebody else is coming into your life that poses the possibility of a more stable relationship, right? Something that brings more love and positivity and a healthy relationship into your life, you certainly should move forward with that. At the very least, if there's a need to separate and gain some perspective, that could certainly be what is called for right now. Okay, this has certainly been, if this resonates with you, then you know what I'm talking about. This has been a very difficult relationship. It hasn't been the happiest. Even though you may have at one point very much loved each other, the relationship between you has been very destructive on both of you. And the unwillingness to leave each other, because before perhaps you did save each other or protect each other, is what's dragging out what was probably a positive relationship at one point, and now it's just ruining it, right? And dragging it out and just disgracing it in a way. All right, so I have these conversations this week. I hope this resonated with you guys. This is Libra, weekly June 24th to July 1st reading. If you wanted to get a schedule a private reading, follow the link at the bottom of the screen. But other than that, just please like, subscribe, share, help me grow my channel. For right now, I'm just going to tell you, Libras, I love you so much, and have a wonderful last week of June. Bye-bye.